Ben, quit stroking your beard. We got a show to do.
I shaved it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, man.
How you feeling? Feeling better? You were a bearded Ben Joravsky's a different kind of fella, I learned on Friday.
I'm a different kind of fellow with my made up for you.
Is that a real song?
Yeah, man.
Whoa.
Come on, we need some old people out there. All right? It's Marvin Gaye back in the day.
Old people, weigh in on the live stream chat, would you? All right. How's it going, everybody, on the live stream chat? I changed some settings on this board I have, so just let me know if you hear us loud and clear. Ben's going to be singing a song for you as well. If I need to crank up the audio, just let me know, and throughout today's program, we will adjust accordingly. Huh? All right. All right, your Ben Joravsky show for Tuesday, October 27th is just moments away. But before we do this, we need to thank the following unions for sponsoring this podcast. Unions like the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 9, the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 150 are sponsors, as well as our good friends at the Chicago Federation of Labor. Ben Joravsky, your song of the day does come from Frank. Nowhere to Run by Martha and the Vandellas.
Oh, my God. It's like a whole Motown thing today. Got nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, woo, nowhere to run, woo, do-do-do-do-do. That's the Funk Brothers. That's the background group that played in all those hits. Do-do-do-do-do.
Okay. The Ben Joravsky Show starts now. It is Tuesday, October 27th. And yeah, live from my apartment and his attic, this is the Ben Joravsky Show. Today on the program, it's the return of our dear friend, Candis Castillo. And now your host, Chicago Reader columnist, Ben Joravsky.
Yeah, hello, everybody. Ben Joravsky here, calling this Power Grab Tuesday. And here's why. Before we get to that, great weekend. You have a good weekend, D?
Wasn't bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was 3 days ago, but it wasn't bad.
I'm going to let a little secret out. I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. Oh. Yes. Dennis had a taco over the weekend.
An egg roll.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, boy. Great show prep, buddy.
An egg roll over the weekend, okay? And why don't you tell the backstory to this one, D? Go ahead. Come on.
I had an egg roll, and it was fantastic.
That's the backstory?
Yeah.
Good God. All right, let me give a look. Some of our listeners are probably wondering, what happened to Mike Sula? We promised a Mike Sula interview, and we had a Mike Sula interview, but we had some what we call technical difficulties with the soundboard. Let's leave it at that. What happened was Dennis had just finished. We just finished the interview, and all of a sudden, into Dennis' apartment rushed a big Great Dane, and it grabbed the tape and ate it. And Dennis, wait, that's the same dog that ate my 8th grade homework assignment.
Dude, you are coming hard in the paint with the sound effects this week already.
Because the thing got stuck in his esophagus.
Oh, well.
I actually never thought I could do. Anyway, the dog ate the homework. The dog ate the tape. So unfortunately, thanks to that technical difficulty, we're unable to play the Mike Sula interview.
Yeah, I accidentally deleted it, guys. Sorry.
I like the dog ate it and it got stuck in his esophagus story better. Anyway, yeah, so there was a little problem, little hiccup, as they say. So what we did, brilliant move by Dennis. I got to give him credit. He took the interview we did with Sergio Mims and divided it in half, and we dropped that one talking about Borat 2 and the other talking about Chicago 7. And we're going to bring back Mike Sula in a couple of weeks, the restaurant reviewer for my beloved reader. But the reason why the egg roll story is relevant, because in the interview, Mike was giving us a tip about great food in the Chicago area. And he told us about this delicious, jerk chicken egg roll. Is that what it was?
What'd you call me?
I said, I did not say you jerked your chicken, all right? I said it was a jerk chicken egg roll. And Dennis immediately hopped into his car. My hands went on the wheel and drove out to Bellwood, right? Wasn't it Bellwood that you went out to, D?
Yeah, went to Bellwood.
Mm-hmm. You want to say a little more about it? Jeez, pull this guy out. What a guess, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, went to Bellwood. What are you, Charles Grodin all of a sudden? That's an ancient reference to Charles Grodin.
No, Sula recommended this egg roll place in Bellwood. And I'm like, well, damn, I love egg rolls. So we went. I was talking about it on Friday, actually. Yeah, my bad, guys. I accidentally deleted this interview. We're going to get it up. Don't worry. But no, I went and checked this egg roll place out. Tasty Rolls, it's called. Damn, dude, they are good. Really good egg rolls. I had the, what is it, the Italian beef egg roll.
Oh, you didn't get the jerk chicken?
Oh, I got that one, too. That was good.
Okay, yeah,
they're not like giant egg rolls. I didn't get two. Next time, I'm going to get more.
Oh, they're not huge egg rolls. Good to know.
Just an average size egg roll, you know?
Yeah, just an average size. Anyway, so that's what Dennis did this week. He also saw Borat 2, but didn't really like it that much, huh, D?
Nah, it was okay. First one was, I guess you just can't top the first one. I shouldn't compare them, but the first one was just awesome.
Yeah, that's a problem. The second ones don't always measure up to the first ones. But anyway, delightful weekend for young Dennis. I had a great weekend, too. I saw the John Chu movie from 2018, A Little Behind, Searching. Father looking for his missing daughter. Where is she? I need to know. My daughter, where is she? Great flick, ladies and gentlemen. Watched the World Series. You watched game, what was it, game 5, D? On Saturday?
Nah.
Oh, my God. He dropped the ball. The catcher dropped the ball. Never mind. You had to see it. How about those Bears, huh, D? What a team. Let's forget about the Bears now. Let's get down to business, all right? But just between you and me, ladies and gentlemen, the Bears, they are worthless. Anyway, woke up this morning to see the coup was complete. Ladies and gentlemen, the coup is complete. There in the White House stood Amy Coney Barrett, hand raised in the air, sworn in as a Supreme Court justice, confirmed Monday night by a vote of the Senate, 52-48. Straight party line, except for Senator Susan Collins of Maine in tough race against Sarah Gideon. I think she's going to lose that race. A little too late, Susan. Could use the independence against Kavanaugh. Remember that vote? Huh? All these Republicans trying to save their neck. Well, I give her credit. At least she voted no. Thanks for nothing, Lisa Murkowski of Alaska and Mitt Romney of Utah. And I'll throw Lamar Alexander in there of Tennessee. So much for the spirit of bipartisanship you're always talking about. That's a fantasy that only deluded Democrats actually believe in. Not in the real world. In the real world of Republican politics, it's tooth and claw. Mitch McConnell like a savage bird swooping down from the skies to rip out our guts. That's
top notch. Oh, we know what it was. That was good.
Oh, God, I'm good. That's like the bird sound he makes as he flies away back to his nest.
Whoa. Boy, there's no show like the Ben Joravsky show. I can tell you that.
Yeah, man, I was doing this stuff back in 6th grade in my room. Okay, I'm still it's kind of like my room, D. Back in 6th grade, I'm only in the attic
since 1922.
No, I was not in my room in 1922. Okay, I'd be alone talking to myself, kind of like this. Just talking to myself as I sit in my room, make weird noises. Yeah. Well, anyway, Mitch McConnell is like a savage bird. He just rips those Democrats out. I'll remind you of this, folks. I know you know it by heart. Everybody knows it by heart by now. But back in 2016, when President Barack Obama, a Democrat, had the Scalia vacancy to fill in the Supreme Court, he wanted to appoint Merrick Garland, who is a centrist, one of those get-along judges. I get along with everyone. Oh, well, that'll work. All the Democrats said, we'll give him a centrist judge. Here's how it's going to work, guys. And they're going to go, oh, he's a centrist judge. He gets along with everyone. And so the Republicans will have to support him because they're swing voters who care about bipartisanship. Man, Mitch McConnell goes, no, most voters aren't even paying attention. I'm going to do what I want to do. And all my Republicans are following line. They wouldn't even give Merrick Garland a hearing. Democrats, oh, wow. The swing voters will make them pay for it. Such a blatant display of partisanship in our judicial selection process. You watch. Those swing voters will make them pay. Man, those swing voters aren't paying attention, Democrats. What are you going to learn? You know what happened. Donnie won thanks to the swing vote in a handful of states. And he's been filling up those Supreme Court vacancies ever since. But you remember the principle. I love it when Republicans laid out a principle. This is a principle that we're following. And then like Dems actually believe them. Oh, there's a principle. What is the principle? Mitch McConnell, tell me what that principle is. Well, the principle is that we cannot replace a vacancy in the Supreme Court during a presidential election year. We must let the voters decide. Oh, well, that principle lasted for about one election year. One. In 2020, we have another vacancy. Ruth Bader Ginsburg dies just weeks before the election. And the Republicans are like Usain Bolt sprinting to fill it. Usain Bolt is a Jamaican sprinter, perhaps the fastest man in the world from some of our sports challenge listeners. Yeah. No sooner do they fill it by that partisan vote, 52-48, then they're sprinting her over to the White House to get confirmed. Hurry up. It's like the Jimmy John commercial. You ever hear that one, D? I love that Jimmy John commercial. The guy talks really fast. Hi, I'm Jimmy John. I'm going to get your delivery really fast. That's what it was like. It was probably a Jimmy John delivery man. They put Amy Coney Barrett on the front of his bicycle. They got her right over there. And then just to make sure everybody knew what they were up to, they had Justice Clarence Thomas swear her in. They didn't have the Chief Justice, John Roberts. They wanted everybody to know what gangster move this was. See, John Roberts sort of pretends as though he's sort of like, he does play that partisan game. Yeah, I mean, bipartisan game. Well, we're just referees. We call the balls and strikes. We're umpires. That's what it is. We're umpires. That's what judges are. There's no Republican judge. There's no Democrat judge. That's like the myth that John Roberts puts out there. Meanwhile, Clarence Thomas is like, I'm a MAGA judge. I'm like that judge. We're going to hear about our favorite judge down in Clay County. I rule for MAGA man. We're on the MAGA team. And just to let everybody know, Amy Coney Barrett's on the MAGA team too. So they had Clarence Thomas swear her in. Mm-hmm. Trump's sitting there with a big old smile on his face. They even dragged Melania out for this one. I guess they got some kind of prenuptial deal where she has to show up for certain occasions. Oh, good. Anyway, by the way, just want to point this out. I didn't see a mask in sight during that swearing in. You figure the Republicans would have learned a lesson from that Rose Garden reception they held a couple weeks back when Amy Coney Barrett was introduced as the nominee. That turned into a super spreader event. Everybody was getting the virus. They lined up people in the White House. They were hugging and kissing and laughing and taunting Democrats and doing their Barack Obama imitation because they figured no Democrats were around. That's what Republicans do. Spitting on each other. I forget how many people got it. I think at least 6. I can't remember. And when it was all over, when they were all getting sick, they were all like, oh, my God, maybe we shouldn't have done that. Amy Coney Barrett, maybe that wasn't a good idea. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. What's his name? Chris Christie, former governor of New Jersey. He was there. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. The president of Notre Dame. Maybe it wasn't a good idea not to wear a mask. They're so intimidated by Trump. Trump wants to send that message that the virus isn't real. No need to wear masks. So none of them wear masks. When they swear in, not a mask in sight. Might as well just put their middle finger in the air to everybody. And even if we get sick, we got like 20 doctors working on us. Donald Trump at the debate is blasting socialized medicine. Man, he's the biggest recipient of socialized medicine I've ever seen. How many doctors did he have? One after another here. Give him more steroids. Every liberal is freaking out now. Every liberal I know. They figure there are 5 votes in the Supreme Court to do what it takes in a contested election to give the White House back to Donnie. Yeah, I can't argue with you liberals. I cannot argue with you. That's why they're there. That's why Kavanaugh was there. That's why Gorsuch is there. That's why Amy Coney Barrett is there. Sammy Alito and Clarence Thomas have been waiting for this moment for years and years. I remember when they gave the White House to W back in 2000. Scalia said, get over it. Could you imagine? Said that to the Democrats. Democrats still complaining like me. Get over it, Scalia said. Can you imagine the roles are reversed? Just get over it, Republicans. Anyway, you know what? Trump was at least honest. But I'm going to give Donnie credit about something. He was honest about it. He said, I put her there. I'm putting her there because I need her vote. I need her vote to help me win the election, even when I lose the election. And I remember when they asked her about the question, she was like, during the hearings, well, you know, I can't really comment about cases that haven't happened yet. You know, Amy Coney Barrett, you should have just been honest. You should have said, yep, I'm going in there. I'm going to deliver the election to Donnie, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. I would have appreciated the honesty. Still would have won 52-48, by the way. Anyway, right on time over the weekends, the Supremes delivered a 5-4 verdict on behalf of the Republican Party in Wisconsin. No votes to be counted that come in 3 days after the election. Democrats are outraged. Hey, see, it's a political ruling intended to benefit the Republicans. It is. They think that the Supreme Court is already biased against Democrats. It is. They realize finally that the Republicans played a game to win and they played a game to run around and lose weights. Yet that is how it goes, how it's always been. Why Republicans, who get less votes in every presidential election, control the White House, the Senate, and the courts. Yep. Here's what you got to do, Democrats. Got to dry your eyes, stop crying, get to work, get that vote out early. You know, it could hurt Republicans too, by the way, that ruling in Wisconsin. You know, Republican voters may be late casting their ballots, but you watch. You watch those slicksters, those slickster Republicans up in Wisconsin. They'll find some clever way to count the late ballots from red townships. They'll figure out some interpretation that fits their needs. See, they don't play to be nice. They play to win. And it's about time the Dems did the same. We got a great show today, everybody.
Yeah!
Yes, Candis.
Let's go, baby! Woo!
Let me tell you about Candis Castillo.
Tell it.
Place to win. She's not afraid. She's not like some Democrat going, huh? Can we get along, please?
Oh, by the way,
No.
I forgot to tell you, over the weekend, did you know Candis Castillo's in a Vote Yes for Fairness ad?
You kind of stole the lead of my interview with her. Hello, pre-show prep and planning. Don't you remember?
You never told me that.
My name is Dr. D. Yes, I do know that.
We're going to talk about that, guys. Get ready. Yeah.
Do you have the ad, by the way?
I can find it, I guess.
Yeah, that would have been fun to have the ad. That would have constituted real pre-show planning.
Yeah, that would have been real good pre-show prep.
Dennis and I up and let the cat open back, let cat out. I'm not going to tell you. Go back in time to our pre-show planning discussion.
Yeah, those suck.
He spent 10 minutes talking about the Rams. This is me. Oh yeah, the Rams left St. Louis in 2010. This is Dennis. No, Ben, I think it was 2015. This is me. No, 2010. Back and forth we went. Finally, I looked it up, and guess what? He was right. Pre-show planning on the Ben Joravsky Show. You should not let that cat out of the bag, D. Do you think Ellen DeGeneres has pre-show planning like that?
Of course not.
Every step of the show is carefully choreographed and plotted out. Ellen and her producers, her staff. Now, we have a huge staff, too, in the Ben Joravsky Show. In addition to Dennis, there's Vilma, there's Bobby Joe, there's Billy Bob, there's Hank, there's Henry, there's Craigslist. There's a lot.
Obviously, all those names were made up, guys. It's just me and Ben.
Every day, that giant staff. We had to get a bigger room to fit them all in, particularly with COVID, you know. Anyway.
Well, the newsroom, those dirty hippies.
Yeah, what happened in the newsroom?
Yeah.
We haven't heard from the...
They're worthless.
That is correct.
What was that? What was that?
That is correct.
Oh, yeah. Who is that?
You'll find out soon, Pally. You'll find out soon.
Oh, I think I know.
That is correct.
You're right, T. I was way off. Anyway, that's sneak hint.
Just kick it to me, would you please? Good Lord.
All right, anyway, Candis. And after Candis Castillo, Troy LaRaviere will be here. I'm looking forward to that interview. But before we do that, the young man from Alton, the man that we proudly call Dr. Doobie, with the news.
How's it going, everybody? I'm Dennis. Let's find out what's happening in Chicago and or Illinois this at what? What's so funny?
Always cracks me up when you go, I'm Dennis. I've been hearing it for 2 years now. It just cracks me up. I'm Dennis.
Just saying my name, dude. Let's find out what's happening in Chicago and or Illinois this afternoon. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. At 11:30, Governor Pritzker was at Eden Park in Champaign, Illinois. He was there at 11:30 to announce manufacturing training opportunities. And now he's at Advocate South Suburban Hospital in Hazel Crest for his daily COVID-19 update. Now, in case you didn't know, and if you don't know this, it's definitely your first time listening to this podcast. Welcome to the show. But in case you didn't know, two groups of people aren't particularly happy with Governor Pritzker and his 5-phase strategy to reopen Illinois.
Let's begin with phase 1.
No, we're not doing that, JB. We are not doing that, pal.
Wait, what about the Grammy thing?
We'll do that tomorrow.
Okay, love the Grammy thing. Sorry.
But there's two groups of people aren't really happy with Governor Pritzker at the moment: restaurants and Republicans.
Tell you what, Illinois could use a new governor.
All right. The Illinois Restaurant Association is pushing back on Pritzker's latest pandemic mitigation efforts, no more indoor dining, and earlier closing times. And Illinois Republicans, well, they're claiming that all of this is about taking away their rights and shouting conspiracy at the top of the mountain. And we do have an update on the person who's actually suing the governor at the moment. For the second time, yes, it's the downstate hog farmer and state rep out of Clay County, Ben's boy, DB, Darren Bailey. Last week, a Sangamon County judge denied the governor's request to vacate a ruling against Bailey by a Clay County judge. Bailey claims in his lawsuit that Pritzker's emergency powers regarding COVID-19 have expired and the General Assembly should step in. And Ben, it must be your lucky day. We have audio from Darren Bailey to play today on the program.
That is correct.
And we're going to play that audio. But before we do that, Ben, that was him right there. We actually haven't heard Darren Bailey speak that much. And, well, since he is your boy, I know you do a mean impression of Darren Bailey. So before we hear more of this audio, let's hear that Darren Bailey impression. Maybe we'll compare and contrast here.
All right. I'll do my Darren Bailey impression. That's correct. No, that's cheating. I never heard his voice before, I don't think. If I did, I forgot it. I usually had Darren Bailey.
I'm DB. It was like real big and burly, right?
I'm DB. Look out. Yeah, I guess that was my impression of DB. But actually, I put him in a box, and it was wrong of me to do so, D. Go ahead.
You learn something new every day, I guess, Ben. Mm-hmm. Now, let's play the Bailey interview. This comes from IllinoisNewsroom.org and Jim Meadows. Ben, weigh in with your thoughts here on Darren Bailey and how Jim Meadows did. You know, you are an interviewer as well, so it'd be nice to hear a critique on Mr. Meadows. So let's get going.
Meadows?
No, I know.
Have you ever met him?
I know Tim Meadows, the guy from Saturday. Well, I don't know him, but that's the guy from Saturday Night Live. Don't know a Jim Meadows.
Okay. All right, just curious.
All right, let's play the interview here now. Darren Bailey does not expect the governor to accept last week's ruling against him. Isn't that correct, Darren Bailey?
Well, that is correct. Governor Pritzker will probably appeal it. So, and he's asking for the entire case to be heard, which is including count 1, which argues if he even had the authority to issue an emergency proclamation in the first place, because we believe most of the times, for instance, when he issues emergency proclamations, let's say there's an area that is flooding. So the National Guard gets called out, to sandbag levees, to sandbag businesses, as the Illinois Emergency Management Agency Act specifically says, to avert further damage, okay? So our argument is that, well, COVID was here. The levee was breached, the water's up, the flooding's taking place. So therefore, he should have allowed this Emergency Management Agency Act to kick in with county health department oversight and then called the legislature back into session to make law, as opposed to him continuing with these executive orders that he has no authority to be doing.
So your Darren Bailey impression is awful.
It's terrible. I'm not even going to try to do it. It's a higher voice. It's kind of a pinched voice, as they say. I don't know if I've ever heard it before. That was actually a very, listen to DB, Darren Bailey. It was like the early days of listening to Raymond Lopez. Maybe Darren Bailey will become a favorite on the show, like Raylo has. Raymond Lopez, alderman from the 15th Ward in the southwest side of Chicago, was a loyalist to Mayor Rahm, but since Lori Lightfoot was elected, he's assumed the role of an independent watchdog, and I like that role. I believe we should have that in democracy. I wish more Republicans, I wish DB would have that role, would adopt that role in case of DT, Donnie Trump, but put that aside for the moment. I thought that DB was making some relevant points there, Darren Bailey. Those are some good points that he was making, much like Raymond Lopez makes good points. And so here's the deal. Let's assume that JB had gone to the State House. He would have won. I mean, the Democrats control the State House. So why not get the legislature to vote for it? I'm sure there's some Dem who could explain to me why that wouldn't be prudent, Ben. But I think that's a relevant point, valid point. We don't live in a monarchy except for with the federal government. We don't have a chief executive officer who could do whatever he wants despite what the courts say, except for with the federal government. We don't have a chief executive officer who's above the law and can give his middle finger to anybody who dares to defy him, except for the federal government. It's a pattern here. Just saying, DB. I wish I'd seen some of this spunkiness. I wish I'd seen some of this independence when it came to the federal government. Many of the same points you're making about JB are absolutely relevant to Donald Trump. I could believe in that bipartisan spirit, that notion that there are principles beyond party loyalties that dictates and governs what Republicans do. I could believe that. If I saw you apply the same principles you're applying to JB, to Donnie. That's all I'm saying, DB. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead.
Well, that's not all he's saying. We got more clips to play. Here's more from Darren Bailey.
So that's
take it away, Jim Meadows, by the way.
So that's the key thing here is getting the legislature in the process.
If they so desire, we've got everything we need for the process. This governor is usurping his constitutional authority by declaring additional executive orders.
Speaking as a legislator yourself, if this emergency comes before the General Assembly, how do you want the state to address the COVID-19 outbreak?
Well, I've been arguing that since day one. Many states never closed. Just about every state around us seems to be open right now. It seems to me that as we keep closing, as we keep restricting people, then every time, this is a virus. It's not going to disappear. So if it's much like the flu. So we have flu season. Every fall we know this comes around. This is probably something that I believe from the information that I'm hearing from the doctors that I talk to, that this may rear its head from time to time. So to destroy the local economy over this, the financial pandemic, that's the true pandemic that's taking place. The mental health pandemic, that's taking place. Our school children, in many cases, are being kept home. The nursing homes are being locked down. So as a representative, I hear this all day long from people across the state. That's what I'm standing up fighting against.
All right. So, first of all, by the way, good job by Meadows. Can we give Meadows a little applause? That was a very subtle way of asking, how do you want him to, how would you vote? He goes, how would you, instead of saying, how would you like to see the state reps? Good follow-up question, Meadows. And DB comes right at it. Then he kind of waffling a little bit, doing that little DB dance he does.
Little Ross Perot, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. That sucking sound you heard. Oh, wait, that's before your time, D. That was in the 1992 presidential debate. Or was it 96? I can't remember. The sucking sound you heard was Jobs going to Mexico. I think it was 96, but I could be wrong. Anyway, little dancing and dodging there, because he starts off by saying, that it's really this principle that he's upholding. This is a very important principle which has to be upheld in Illinois when we have a Democratic governor, but does not have to be upheld in Washington when we have a Republican president. A very important principle, but only when a Democrat's in charge. All right, got that. Hold on. Very important principle, but only when Democrat in charge.
That is correct.
Thank you. And then we get into the specifics, and that's where he goes MAGA on us. That's where he's like leaving the rails a little bit, because it's either a dangerous virus that's not going away, or it's like the flu, which just pops up every now and then, is not harmful, and we don't need to shut down the economy over. And by the way, you know what what really grinds my gears, D? That's the sound of my gears being ground.
I mean, you explain it, but we all know. You're a sound effects master, dude.
I know. It's just unbelievable. Sixth grade again. That's my gears being ground. What really grinds my gears, whenever a Republican, when necessary, brings up the need to address mental health issues. It's like suddenly with the pandemic lockdown, Republicans are worried about mental health issues. Never worried about mental health issues any other time. By the way, it's not just Republicans. Many Democrats in Chicago the same way. Mayor Rahm closed those health clinics. All the aldermen go, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. We're saving like $10. Wow, what a genius mayor. I'll vote for it, 50-0. Then, police are just grappling with the issue of dealing with people who are unstable. They don't know how to do it. It's clear. They don't know what to do in those situations. It's clear that you need mental health experts. And all of a sudden, everybody in Chicago is like, oh, yeah, maybe it wasn't such a great idea to close all mental health clinics. Republicans don't even have that second. They just deal, like when there's some kind of massive shooting, Donald Trump goes, well, it's clearly mental health. We need to deal with mental health. And then, of course, once the headline's over, not a nickel for mental health. So I would believe DB more when he talks about our mental health needs if I actually saw him or any other Republican like try to address that. Just saying, D. Just saying.
All right, but wait, there's more. And hey, way to go, Jim Meadows. Ben Joravsky's a fan.
Is there also a danger that if that approach is taken, that the level of outbreak may go higher than it is already right now?
Obviously, the numbers are spiking again. But so far, when we see the numbers spike, they come back down. But if we continue to pull back in and rein ourselves in, we are preventing what probably is going to have to happen with the virus. Are we waiting on a vaccination or some medication to take care of this? I don't know when that's going to come. When's the next strain of another virus going to come? We are not getting the answers from the Illinois Department of Public Health that we are asking for. The data and the information that they tell us they have, they don't present it. And constantly their mitigation situations have changed many times. So it's certainly a situation where, we're free Americans. And my argument is that we should live like that, because what's at stake with these shutdowns is our economy and our mental health situation.
The all-important mental health situation, which I will proceed to ignore from here on out. The all-important mental health situation. Ben, that was some skating around. Hey, I'll tell you what, DB is more like a figure skater. We talked about...
hey, I was born tonight, but not last night, buddy, all right?
J.B. Pritzker dancing and dodging. J.B. Travolta, Sugar Ray Pritzker. Remember those days? He was dancing and dodging. But what DB's thing is he agrees with this question and then just skates around. So the Meadows good. Isn't there a danger that we'll just have if we let up on the protocol that there'll be an increase? He goes, yeah, it's always going up, it's always going down. There's spikes all the time, but we're free Americans. There we go, free. Well, so what? We do nothing. That's it. It's like nothing about. Just fill up the hospitals with sick people. Is that what we're gonna do? Not going to wear masks, not going to mandate masks in public places. Just let it go the way it is. I mean, all I know is that most Republicans, well, I shouldn't say this. No, I was going to say something, D, and I'm going to back up. I'm not going to say it because I censored myself before I said something that I wasn't even going to agree with. But I realized I wasn't going to agree with it by the time I started it. But I'm just saying that this is the wing of the Republican Party that has somehow or other equated freedom and liberty with an inability of government to protect its citizens. So now what's next? No motorcycle helmets? No helmets required for motorcycle riders? No seatbelts for cars? How about just letting everybody go on an airplane without going through the metal detector? I got a lot of libertarian friends still irritated about that from 2001. Let's just do away with all requirements. Freedom, liberty, America. It's, for some reason, they fastened on this one. And I think it's a vanity thing, actually. Deep down inside, it's like they think there's something undignified about wearing a mask. Listen, D, I kind of share it. Oh, no. Confession time, D. I didn't like wearing a mask. Samina Mustafa told me that I should always wear a mask, even if I'm walking down the street and there's nobody near me. It's at night. I go for my night walks. Walking down the street, Samina goes, you should always wear a mask. I wear a mask, Ben, when I walk down the street. Someone could come through the alley. But I got a little Darren Bailey in me, D. I don't want to wear that mask. So, I put the mask in my hand. If I see somebody, quick, smother my face. I got the mask on. I don't really have it. So I get you, DB. You don't think you look good with the mask on. Now, I told you before, when you put the mask on, when Michael Madigan made you wear the mask, you look very good. Very handsome young man with the mask on. In fact, some people would argue you're better looking with the mask on than with the mask off. I'm just saying that I've heard that argument advanced. But I'm just saying, DB, you can't have it both ways. You can't say that there's a danger. You're worried about health problems for citizens of Illinois and then say there's nothing government should do about it. You can't say you're worried about mental health conditions of the people in the state of Illinois and then doing absolutely nothing about it. You're either going to address the health considerations that we're facing in Illinois, or you're just going to pretend that you're helpless. They don't exist. We live in a free market, libertarian country where anybody can do what they want. And if you drop dead from COVID, so be it.
All right, we got one more Darren Bailey clip to play here. Shout out to Jim Meadows and IllinoisNews.org.
When you said what probably has to happen with this virus, are you talking about herd immunity?
Possibly, yes. If you need to wear a mask, you wear a mask. If you're concerned, you stay home. But to continue to destroy the economy as is being done, we're going to see some long-lasting effects that I don't believe that we're fully aware of right now.
I agree with, by the way, I like Meadows. Good job, Meadows. You should get Meadows on the show, man. He did a really good job. But just think about that one line. Again, DB, you're skating all over the pond. If you need to wear a mask, you wear a mask. What the hell does that mean? If you need to wear a mask, wear a mask. I mean, I don't even know what that means. Everybody needs to wear a mask. It's protection. It's like, why would one? Oh, I guess what he's saying that if you have COVID, and you're walking around, you should wear a mask. Well, if you have COVID, you shouldn't be walking around anyway. The whole point of wearing a mask is maybe you have COVID, you don't realize, you want to protect people. I don't know, maybe you want that little protection for yourself. The point is, it's not like somebody, well, this guy needs to wear a mask, but I don't need to wear a mask. Well, you need to wear a mask too. What are you, like Superman? Super DB? I mean, that just goes, that's skating. See, that's not like he's just pretending that he's making an argument. He's not really making an argument. If you need to wear a mask, you wear a mask. We all need to wear a mask. If Dennis needs to wear a mask, I need to wear a mask. Not like he needs to wear a mask more than I do. Anyway, good job, Jim Meadows. And D, I want to thank you for dragging that out, because now I'm going to have to do an honest, legitimate DB imitation.
I was going to say, you just heard like 5 clips of this dude. Now let's hear your newest Darren Bailey impression before we move on.
Well, here's the thing. My good friend, Dr. D from Alton, Illinois. He's a great guy. He loves Jimmy Buffett. But here's the thing. Jimmy Buffett doesn't wear a mask.
You need a little country twang to it.
Bruce Springsteen wears a mask.
There it is. There it is.
Jimmy Buffett don't wear a mask. Now, Dr. D, he wears a mask. But when he goes down to Alton, he don't wear a mask. And that hippie freak he's on that show with, Baby J, he don't wear a mask. I'm DB. Now prove this ad. I got it, D. Come on, D. Hold on, open the bag. I let that DB imitation out of the bag.
In case people were wondering when we were ever going to have Darren Bailey on the program, well, after that, it's for sure never. Good God. This guy probably hates our guts.
DB, we give him so much attention and love. How many talk shows in the city of Chicago have given DB this much love, huh? I'd say he's the public, but there's a challenge. He's a challenger. I've said all along, he's the face of the Republican Party in Illinois right now. He's the main man in the Republican Party. Sorry, Jimmy Durkin, take a back seat. Sorry, Jeannie Ives, take a back seat. Jim Oberoi, take a back seat. It's DB, pride and joy. Hi, I'm DB. But getting better at it, huh, Dennis?
Yeah, you're getting better.
I love getting country cornflakes. But let me tell you something right now. He's got some challenge. RB. And I'm not talking about RB Graves. And I'm not talking about RB, your favorite roast beef store.
Oh, I love Arby's.
I'm talking, I know. Every time the old days, D and I would be walking down the street in downtown Chicago. We'd pass that Arby's. You go, can we go in? No, we have a train to catch. I wanna.
Come on, fatty, let's go.
Let me tell you something right now. He's got competition, D. RB, Rod Blagojevich. It's going to be DB versus RB. Be the public face of the Republican Party in 2022.
That is correct.
Well, thank you very much, DB. Let's hear your DB imitation.
Now, I'll tell you what we need to do here. Mask, wear it if you want. I don't care. Wear it, don't wear it. I don't know, man. Question is, you want to go to farming home?
You know what? I have to concede. His is better imitation than mine. I got to make that confess.
Listen, do what you want. Watch Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, whatever you want, man. The question is, you want to go to farming home?
That's the thing. That's like, that's so cool. You got the essence of it. It's like, you want to wear a mask? Wear a mask. You don't want to wear a mask? Don't wear a mask. Like, no, DB, you don't understand. It's like, doesn't work that way. Like, the whole point of the mask is to protect everybody. So if you just don't wear the mask, you're not protected. Who cares? It's like the flu. It goes up, it goes down. Who cares? It's not a tyranny we live in. Oh, except for the Donald Trump part. Well, except for that.
Tuesday, October 27th, the day we pissed off all of our downstate listeners.
That is correct.
All right, let's move on.
Started it.
Oh, by the way,
I like my imitation better.
By the way, I keep hearing that phone ringing.
Springfield politicians, they promise they won't tax retirement income if their constitutional amendment passes.
Answer that phone. It's Phyllis.
Phyllis. Dave, I just got to say, is that phone ringing again?
Yes.
Springfield
It's still ringing. I don't know who it is. Want me to run down and pick it up? Hello?
No, that's all right. We've made it a bit now. That's now Phyllis. Okay. On to the news in the city of Chicago. No public events scheduled for our Chicago Mayor, Lori Lightfoot.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Oh. Good afternoon, Mayor.
Can you hear the phone still?
Absolutely.
All right, hold on. Let me go shut the door.
All right.
Here we go.
Go ahead.
Just stall, man. Talk about Phyllis.
All right. Phyllis is this lady. Sounds like she smokes millions of cigarettes. She's voting no for the fair tax this year. How are you voting on the fair tax this year, huh? Send us an email, BennyJShow at, boy, he loves stomping, BennyJShow at gmail.com. BENNY, the letter J show at gmail.com. By the way, coming up today, a brand new song from Michael Girardi.
Great stalling, by the way. I did not know about the brand new song.
Yep.
We didn't discuss that in the pre-show.
And we don't talk about anything during the pre-show, dude.
No, we did. We talked about the Los Angeles Rams.
Oh,
Did you remember our conversation?
Yeah. Conversations that go nowhere. All right. No public events scheduled for Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, but the mayor made the headlines while we were away. And the following comes from the Chicago Sun-Times and Fran the Woman Spielman. The headline reads, Aldermen pressure Lightfoot to find alternative to $94 million property tax increase. Chicago aldermen on Monday delivered a message loud and clear to Mayor Lightfoot. Their constituents can't afford a property tax increase of any size, let alone $94 million, followed by annual cost of living increases. Lightfoot has called the $94 million increase, quote, modest, because it will cost the owner of a home valued at $250,000 a month. Oh, yeah, I know where you're going. Only $56 more each year. That's right. Only $56 more each year. But during opening day of city council budget hearings, Chief Financial Officer Ginny Huang Bennett acknowledged the actual annual increase would be $112 when property taxes for Chicago public schools, city colleges, and Cook County are factored in.
That's probably more than that, but whatever. We discussed this last week. We were one step ahead of the game. How about that, D? Those aldermen must have been listening to the Ben Joravsky show.
Yeah,
remember, Mayor, no, Raylo was listening. But yes, as we discussed last week, the budget hearing in the Chicago City Council is just about the city's budget. This is part of the game that they play. So they don't talk about the school budget or the water rec budget or the library budget or the park district budget. If you take a look at your property tax bill, you'll see that the city's portion of that is about 20% of the total of all the property taxes you pay. So if they raise the city taxes, the other taxes are going to go up too. Whoa. So you're going to pay more than the $53. And Lori was like a used car salesman. $53. Or was it 56?
56.
$56. Have I got a car for you? Come on down, Lori Lightfoot Chevrolet.
Oh, I love cars.
Oh, my God. Man, Lori Lightfoot's got it easy compared to JB. She didn't have to deal with DB. Well, I guess she's got Raylo. I take it back. Still got it easy compared to JB. You know that, D. Just $56. Come on down. And so the aldermen are like, actually, I heard on the Ben Joravsky show that you also have to pay for schools. Oh, well, yeah, that's true. But we're not discussing that right now, alderman. Man, the city's broke. State's broke. It's because we're on top of everything else. We're in the middle of a pandemic. People aren't working. People aren't going to stores, not buying as much, not as much tax money flowing in. What are we going to do?
Well, that attitude will get us nowhere. Come on, we got to fight, man.
And over the course of this very tough year, we have been on the ropes, and the referee has started the 10 count a couple of times. But like Barney Ross, the 1930s fighter who grew up in the Maxwell Street neighborhood, we have gotten back up, legs stronger, steely focus, and resolve to fight on.
All right. Show of hands in the Chicago City Council, 50 aldermen. How many of you have ever heard of Barney Ross before? Scott Wagesback, don't cheat and say you heard of him when you know you didn't. Oh, okay. Not one alderman has ever heard of Barney Ross. I'm the only one who heard of him because I'm ancient. Raylo had to admit, I never heard of him. Wonder if Adolfo Mondragon has heard of him. He's a big boxing fan. Next time El Dragon's on the show, D, remember to ask him. Write one of those little Post-its. El Dragon, Barney Ross.
Well, Adolfo was on the program recently. You can download his podcast at both Chicago Sun-Times and Chicago Reader websites and wherever else you download your favorite podcast. Also, Ray Lopez was on the program. If you haven't heard that interview with the 15th Ward Alderman, you really should check it out. Always honest, that Ray Lopez. Both Chicago Sun-Times and Chicago Reader websites and wherever else you download your favorite podcasts. All right, more talk from Mayor Lightfoot here. And more talk about the budget. The following comes from Block Club Chicago, Alex Nitkin, and the Daily Line, whatever that means. Mayor Lightfoot and top financial officials in her administration on Monday stood by their proposal to widen the criteria for issuing speeding tickets next year, saying they did so primarily as a public safety measure. Lightfoot's plan to close $1.2 billion in the budget gap includes a $38.8 million hike in fines, fees, and forfeitures over 2020, including by ticketing drivers who exceed the speed limit by more than 6 miles per hour. The $35 citation first reported by the Chicago Tribune, would be sent to drivers who are twice caught by cameras driving between 6 and 9 miles per hour over the speed limit. The first infraction would incur a warning. The mayor, who campaigned in part on ending the city's reliance on ticketing to balance its finances, said during a press conference Monday the added fines are, quote, about keeping communities safe, following a recent increase in speeding-related accidents and deaths.
Yeah. This is a story that the Tribune broke. I think it was on Sunday. Don't quote me on that, D. So kudos to the Tribune. They figured this out somehow or other. They figured this out. Look, they're desperate for money, ladies and gentlemen. The city's desperate for money. So Lori Lightfoot's doing what every mayor that I can recall, going back to the days of the early 90s with Richard M. Daley, has done, and that's jack up fees and fines. So Mayor Lightfoot, remember that? Mayor Lightfoot in 2019, I remember she came to the Hideout and said this: I'm outraged by squeezing average Chicagoans for parking tickets and speeding tickets. It's just unfair. We shouldn't be shaking them down. We should look for other means of raising revenue. And there's so much waste in our budget anyway. We can cut the waste. And there's, all those TIFs that we could use. No need for those TIFs. That was candidate Lori Lightfoot.
Yeah, different lady there.
Mayor Lori Lightfoot's
Man.
like, squeeze them. The Chicago driver is like an accordion. I'm going to squeeze that accordion. Mama's got a squeeze box. Daddy doesn't sleep at night. That's a song from the 70s that's got everyone baffled. Yeah. There goes another campaign. D, take that bottle thing. Do the bottle thing you always do with the breaking bottle.
Yeah?
Yeah, just break the bottle. Watch.
All right, hold on a second. So you want me to
break the bottle?
Break the bottle, huh?
Thank you, D. Well done. That's another campaign promise being smashed. To smithereens.
That was awesome.
Come on. There's another one. The first one was the TIF pledge. The second one is I'm not going to squeeze motorists.
Wait. Oh, that was her actual bottle of beer that she had at the Hideout. Two Hearted Ale, the hipster beer.
Was she drinking that?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember. What a memory you have.
Dude, she rolled in on a skateboard, man. She was cool. No,
smoking a doobie? No, she was not smoking a doobie, okay? Just joking around there. Anyway, not there'd be anything wrong with it if you were. Just saying. So remember Mayor Rahm? Let's just go back and let's just reminisce about Mayor Rahm. The good old days of Mayor Rahm. Mayor Rahm was such a fraud. He'd look at the camera. No, I'm doing this because we have severe traffic problems in the city of Chicago. People are they're speeding, going by schools. They're speeding through red lights. This is not about raising money for the city. And then Channel 7, I think it was. Breaking news. Here at Channel 7, we discovered that Rahm Emanuel's going through red lights. Remember
Take a chill pill, man.
Yeah, Rahm Emanuel, chill pill taking Rahm, going through those red lights.
get out of my way. I got stuff to do.
I guess. And then they would ticket him every now and then. They would ticket him, because they had the camera. They get the ticket. Oh, Mayor Rahm, rip that ticket up. Criminal justice in the city of Chicago. It's justice for just us.
I actually heard he almost got a speeding ticket on his bike. He's such a biker.
I just biked around Lake Michigan.
Oh, how many miles was it, Mayor?
I just biked around Lake Michigan.
Oh.
And how many miles was it, did you say? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Nearly 1,000 miles.
Oh, thank you for that clarification, that edification. And did you talk to anybody about health care? No, nobody wants health care. I went over to Wisconsin and Michigan. Nobody cares. Thank you, Mayor Rahm. By the way, D, have you been watching the George Stephanopoulos show lately?
No.
Did you ever? I'm wondering if Chris Christie's back yet. That's all. I never watched the George Stephanopoulos show. Confession time. Because I'm not up early enough. That's the real reason. By the way, did you see that funny picture that's been floating around social memes, memes, or whatever they're called, on Facebook? And it's a conservative guy with a sign talking about liberals and a liberals' day. And it was kind of true, wake up at noon. Yeah, I can get that. Go to McDonald's. I was laughing. That's pretty good. Complain about it. He's like, you know what? I got to give you credit. Conservative guy. That's pretty funny.
All
That's
right.
my day. Wake up at noon.
Anything else you want to say here about the speeding tickets? We're now.
Oh, come on, Mayor Lightfoot. You're squeezing the motorists. You said you weren't going to squeeze them, and now you're squeezing them like they're accordions. And it's not for safety issues. My God, this is, oh my God, folks, if there's any youngsters out there who want to know what it's like to be a reporter, pity the Chicago Tribune reporters. The mayor will say something, an official will say something, which they just make up. They just make it up as they go along. You know, well, we're doing this for safety reasons because we've seen an uptick in accidents that are occurring because people are speeding. So the Tribune has 3 reporters, going through all of it. Well, actually, we counted up all the accidents and there's only 1. Oh my God, isn't that embarrassing? Like the mayor cares. Oh, big deal. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to say what I want anyway. Just like DB, I'll say whatever I want, whenever I want to say it. I don't care what you say. Facts? Who cares about facts? So yes, they're squeezing the taxpayers because, as Lori Lightfoot figures, what's worse? Squeezing some motorists who's driving 6 miles over the limit, or raising property taxes $63 as opposed to $56? I think I'll go with squeezing the motorist. So yeah, she kind of went back on her promise there, D, but so it goes.
I won't just turn the car around. I'm going to shut it off. I'm going to kick you out, and I'm going to make you walk home.
Okay.
All right, so there you are, everybody. That's the local news. We're going to take a break now, but before we do that, we want to remind everyone to find us on social media at Benny J Show, BENNY, the letter J Show, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can send us an email. We got a lot of emails, actually. We got to take some time here to read some emails this week on the show. BennyJShow@gmail.com. BennyJShow@gmail.com. And you can call us and leave us a voicemail, 708-658-4788. That number again, 708-658-4788. Reach out to the Ben Joravsky Show. Leave us a voicemail. Send us an email. Do whatever you want to do, and there's a good chance we will read your comments on the program. We got Candis Castillo coming up. By the way, Ben, I need you to send me Candis's email. I'm looking for it here. I don't think we got it. Should have done that in pre-show prep. Oh, and he just sent it. Oh, I shouldn't have said anything. All right.
Come on, man. Come on. I've been hanging out with millennials for years now. Okay?
I'll be editing that out. And and hey, we got a brand new song to play from our good friend Michael Girardi. Can't thank this man enough, all right? We were kind of hurting there for a little bit. We had no music to play for a while, and Michael Girardi had our back, and slowly but surely, this dude has an album now, all right? Full of songs made specifically for the Ben Joravsky Show. So we got the latest from Michael Girardi to play for all of you. Let's see here. I believe he calls this song Make It Stop. The latest from Michael Girardi. Ben, we got to get Michael. I told him, I responded to him on the email. We got to get him on the program and have an interview. And if his quality's good, maybe have him play a song or two, you know?
What did he say? Was he open to that?
He said, I'd love to, man. Hell yeah.
Is that an imitation of Michael Girardi?
Yeah, sure.
That sound like my own imitation of DB. But now it's like this. Hi, I'm Dennis. I love DB.
Now listen, wear a mask, don't wear a mask, do what you want to do. I don't care, man. Do what you want to do. The big question is, you want to go to farming home?
You know, he sounds like your uncle.
Eldon.
Who's your uncle? Eldon. He sounds like Uncle Eldon. That's sweet.
All right, here's
I love that hippie guy, DB.
Here's Michael Girardi. We'll be back with Candis Castillo.
All right.
that you had a right to vote. Supreme Court will say it's not an obstacle. God made man sound cold, made him equal. We all want someone to make it stop. And we don't even care who you are. It's a third world shit in the land of the free. Who's gonna fight for democracy when the only thing we have to fear? You thought it couldn't happen here. When 2020 is history, will it be Nuremberg or the GOP? Or will this all become normal? God made man sound cold, made him equal. We all want someone to make it stop. And we don't even care who you are. We all want someone to make it stop. And we don't even care who you are. All the republics have faded away, but it's not gonna happen in the USA. Too many pieces would have to break, but that's what they always say. All the republics have faded away, but it's not gonna happen in the USA. All the republics have faded away, but it's not gonna happen in the USA.
This election, Chicago voters are casting a ballot on much more than the President of the United States. Some of the races we will be voting on include the Cook County State's Attorney, over 60 judges, our Water Reclamation District Commissioners, and changes to our taxes.
Springfield politicians.
Phyllis? With all these races, candidates, and issues, casting an informed ballot can seem like a challenge. But Chicago Votes, a nonpartisan organization, is here to provide you with information on the candidates and issues on the ballot. Their 2020 voter guide is available digitally at chicagovotes.com and chicagoreader.com. Pull it up on your laptop, take it with you into the voting booth on your phone, and feel confident in knowing who and what you're voting for. chicagovotes.com. Hour number 2 of your Ben Joravsky Show is brought to you in part by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 9, the International Union of Operating Engineers Local 150, and the Chicago Federation of Labor. Benny J, take it away.
Always a blast of my show when the great Candis Castillo can join us. She is I'm gonna list everything that Candis is to you. All right, you ready? She's a talk show host with her own talk show on that station I can't remember the name of, but somewhere in Chicago.
WCPT 820.
Oh yeah, that station. Yeah. See you later. Anyway, she's a political strategist. She's chief of staff to one of my favorite alderwomen in the whole world, Jeanette Taylor, JT, as I like to call her, 20th Ward. And she is a pretty sharp observer, chronicler of national and local politics. So with that, I welcome back to the show, the great Candis Castillo. Welcome back, Candis.
Hey, Ben, how are you?
I'm doing well. And I have to say, before we get started, that on top of everything else, Candis is now a TV star, or as I would do it in my radio voice, a TV star. You're the star of the Fair Tax commercial, Candis. You thought you'd sneak that past me without me saying that, right?
Boo, I am not the star of the Fair Tax commercial. I just happen to be in a couple.
Okay. All right. You're one of the stars. It's an array of stars, a constellation. There's a lot of little stars up there. And you're wearing some super cool blue jean jacket, which I love blue jean jacket. So looking really good in that commercial, Candis. Talk about the fair tax, if you will.
So, look, as we know, billionaires and millionaires and upper 100,000aires, right, have never paid their fair share in Illinois. Illinois and Chicago, what we're going through during budget season, is still being built off the backs of the working class. And enough is enough. JB needs to pay his fair share. So does Ken Griffith and everybody else who just builds off of working people. From the city taxes that are going up, I don't care if they're going up $5, they're going up, to us not... those people at the top not paying their fair share. Think about it. A person that makes $40,000 a year should not have a higher tax bill than somebody that makes $400,000 a year. That doesn't make sense for anybody, and that definitely doesn't make sense for Black and brown people or the working class in Chicago.
All right, let's talk about that last point you made. It doesn't make sense for Black and brown people in the working class in Chicago. Your sense, Candis Castillo, of how the electorate in Chicago is going to respond to the Fair Tax Initiative. Has it grabbed the imagination? Has it captured? Is it in people's minds? Do they understand what's at stake here with this referendum? What's on the ballot on November 3rd?
I think they do. I think, I have a lot of friends that don't work or pay attention to the political sphere, and they're like, wait, my friend is in this commercial, so I at least need to know what it's about. It cracks me up, but it makes sense. And once I have a cousin who's a lawyer in Evanston, and she says, tell them people that, I make over $400,000 a year, and this will affect me too. So that's why I say, hi, 100,000 people who make that, but we have to think about it. We have aspirational wages. I do too. But right now, that's not my reality. My reality is some of the money that they're taking away from me in state tax, I could put toward some of my other aspirations and hopefully get to a place where I am making a whole bunch of money a year and then still pay my fair share, because I know there's somebody like me who wants to build to their aspirations.
Is your cousin in Evanston, the lawyer, is she intending to vote yes or no on the fair tax?
She is voting yes on the fair tax.
Even though it's going to raise her taxes?
Even though it's going to raise her taxes. But she's still voting yes on the fair tax because she still has cousins, a mother, friends, and family that it affects adversely. And it affecting them adversely ends up with us calling our cousin to say, hey, can you help? Or other people not reaching their goals. Plus, it wasn't that long ago where she didn't make a whole lot of money as a corporate attorney, but she was a police officer in Evanston. She remembers what her taxes look like.
Candis Castillo, your life is like a novel. Every time I turn the page, I learn something else. I didn't know you had a cousin who was a police officer in Evanston. You kept that from me.
How about this? I was actually born in Evanston.
I did not know that. Evanston Hospital?
Evanston Hospital.
Did you go to Evanston High School?
I did not. My godmother was a teacher at Evanston for a number of years, but we moved to the South Side when I was 4. But yeah, Evanston still, let me see, I think my mother was a member of Second Baptist until she moved to Florida. So I was an adult when she was no longer a member of Second Baptist.
Wow, I did not know that. I of course, that's where I did my high school work, Candis, at Evanston High School. They couldn't get me out of that school fast. Get this guy out of here. It's dragging down the grade point average of everybody. All right, let's go back to the fair tax before I start reliving my Evanston High School years. Candis Castillo, look, I'm glad that your cousin is going to vote against her momentary interests and vote effectively to raise her taxes by raising the rates on the highest. But one of the things that really perturbs me, really grinds my gears, as I like to say, is that the vote no crowd, the Kenny G crowd, that is ponying up a lot of money, the billionaires are trying to protect the amount of shelter their income from higher taxes, are willing to kick in some money to this campaign. This is the Phyllis commercial. We make fun of it all the time on the show, Candis Castillo, and that's where there's a retiree from Park Ridge just makes it up, says that it's going to, the fair tax will be the first step toward taxing retirement income in the state of Illinois. Currently, retirement income is untaxed, and all my lefty friends, Candis, tell me, don't shame voters. Don't shame voters, Ben. But Candis, if retirees and pensioners fall for this line and vote no on it, that will be, in my humble opinion, the single dumbest vote that I have seen in my lifetime in Chicago politics. And I don't know how yes, go ahead.
Don't shame voters. However, there's a radio commercial for the fair tax that literally says, I watched that commercial, quoted the commercial, and then said, I did my research. Do your research. This lady, I think in the radio commercial for the fair tax, was a mail carrier. I did my research. I'm a retired mail carrier. I did my research, and I will be fine. Do your research, people. Do your research. And on top of that, look at your paycheck stub.
All right, kids, before we get... Yeah, go ahead.
Don't shame voters, though, Ben. Don't shame
All right, let's get to that. Everybody comes on the show and tells me, don't shame voters. Robert Peters, State Senator Robert Peters goes, Ben, don't shame the voters. Amisha Patel was on the show last week. Ben, don't shame the voters. Every lefty that comes on this show, it's hard. Candis, tell the truth. You have moments when no one's around where you curse the decisions of the electorate. Admit it, Candis Castillo.
What? I believe in the electorate. Yes. Most of the time, those decisions come when I'm on Facebook and I am seeing people quote things from CBS.net.com. Yes, I question the integrity of American voters. Yes, I say to myself, people vote with their aspirations and not vote with their realities. There's a lot of people who voted for Donald Trump because they want to be Donald Trump, or they want to be what they perceive as Donald Trump being, not because they actually make what Donald Trump is making or believe what he believes, but they see themselves as wanting to make that amount of money. And it's much easier not to do the research, not to lobby, not to fight, to just believe what you hear or what you watch. So, yes, I curse the electorate all the time. And in cursing the electorate all the time makes me more passionate about making sure we have an educated electorate.
All right, fair enough. And I do believe I'm going to be working on this, my shame the voter tendencies. I'm going to make a New Year's resolution in the middle of October, or at the end of October, Candis. I'm going to really work hard not to shame voters. It's hard for me, okay? It's really hard for me.
I don't know if you know about this little thing that's happening on November 3rd. I don't know if you heard of it. But, you know, I think you need to make that pledge like now, that no matter what happens, you won't shame voters. You can curse the voters.
Okay. That's a subtle distinction between cursing the voters and shaming the voters. I'm not quite sure if there's a difference, but we'll take it there. All right. One of the things that you've been saying since you've come on the show, Candis, and as you've been saying, you're really praying for Ruth Bader Ginsburg's health. You say this all the time. And you haven't been on the show. It's been too long. You haven't been on the show since she died. And man, the flurry of activity, I talked about it already. Republicans don't play. That is for sure. So what were your general thoughts as you watched Amy Coney Barrett get confirmed by the Senate in a hurry-up vote, and then rushed over to the White House to be immediately sworn in, and they drag out Clarence Thomas to do the dirty deed? What was your general thoughts about that?
Anger. Mostly anger, but not at the people who people would think I was angry at. I was not angry at Senate Republicans because they do what Senate Republicans do. They took full advantage of what their voters want us to take advantage of. Senate Republicans, or Republicans in general, or not even Republicans, but especially the Christian right, has been hell-bent on the courts forever. Mm-hmm. So the fact that they were organized enough to have a candidate and get the candidate quickly made me more angry at the left for not being as organized and preserving the things that we want. Now, here is my prediction. They're rushing Amy Coney Barrett through like that will win us the Senate. It still may not win us the White House, but it'll win us the Senate.
What, you think there's a greater likelihood that Democrats will win the Senate than to defeat Trump?
I think Trump voters are Trump voters. These people is like, I don't know. That's crazy to me. If they were going to vote for Trump, they were always going to vote for Trump. Those people that dug in early are still dug in. That's fine. I think that there were a lot of people who were more appalled at the process than anything else, and it may deliver us a win, especially in Lindsey Graham's race. So I think that people were upset at that, and it made dollars flow into all of those races that may not have flown as hard into all of those races at first.
Are you predicting Jamie Harrison is going to defeat Lindsey Graham?
Yeah, slightly, but yeah, I think he's going to win.
It doesn't matter if he wins by 1 vote or 1 million votes, just that he wins.
Exactly. Just that he wins. He has a chance. I think he definitely has a chance. This wildcat race in Georgia, it looks, and I can't remember his name right now, but it looks very promising for the pastor of Ebenezer Baptist Church, which would be a story that the pastor of Martin Luther King's church is now the senator from the great state of Georgia.
Yeah, well, that's the Phil. That's a special election. There's also there's 2 Senate races in Georgia, and the first one, David Perdue, the incumbent senator Republican, is up against a guy named John Ossoff. That could be decided immediately, and Ossoff could be defeat Perdue. But let's go back to the difference between Republicans and Democrats. And I sent you this article. I don't know if you had a chance to read it. I really loved it. AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Congresswoman from New York City, she put it out there. And she said after that, she watched Republicans vote 52-48. You're right, Candis. Here's the frustrating part about them. I'm now going to shame the Republicans. Okay, I can't shame voters, but I can shame Republicans. They declare a principle in 2016 that we should not fill a Supreme Court vacancy in a presidential election year, and then they throw that principle out the window in 2020. So Democrats got to learn, number one, there are no principles when dealing with Republicans. That's the first thing they got to remember, Candis Castillo, and that's number one. So the Republicans vote 52-48 to confirm Amy Coney Barrett. They zip her over to the White House so Clarence Thomas can swear her in and she can sit on the court and perhaps deliver the court to Donald Trump, which is why he was in such a hurry to put her there. And so some Democratic activists have been saying for a long time, if we take control of the Senate, we take control of the White House, we have to pack the court. And AOC put it out there. She goes, Republicans don't think the Democrats have the stones. That's what she said, Candis Castillo. The Republicans don't think the Democrats have the stones to pack the court. And I'm not going to shame Democrats, Candis. I think Republicans may be onto something. Do you think Democrats have the stones to pack the court?
No, but I don't. I don't think they have the stones because we're using the word stones. I don't think they have the stones to pack the court. I don't. But Democrats don't. But the people on the left do. And we have the stones to be sitting in their offices every day and bring up voting rights and women's right to choose and Trump's taxes, which are definitely going to come up, and health care and LGBTQIA issues. We have the stones to be sitting in their office, Democrat or Republican, and hold them accountable to what they need to do. Period. Now, there's a lot of reasons why we need to look at reforming the judiciary on a local level and on a federal level. But one of them is the Supreme Court is supposed to have oversight of the appellate courts. And as it is now, with the number of judges we have now, with 9 judges, they can't really oversee the appellate courts. So we need court reform anyway. Now, I've heard pundits go as far as 29, and that's just ridiculous. but yeah, we definitely need court reform.
Well, I got a feeling that the lefty wing of the Democratic, if the Dems have to take, obviously, the Senate and Biden has to win. But if that's the case, I could see the lefty wing really pushing on this issue with AOC out in front. Because the situation is that Republicans blatantly pack the court, shamelessly pack the court, and then Democrats still play that partisan game, and that's why Democrats are losing. Now, let's talk about this. You talked about election integrity. I believe that Donald Trump, in the back of his mind, in the front of his mind, actually, is confident that Barrett, along with Clarence Thomas and Sam Alito and Gorsuch and Kavanaugh, will deliver him the election. And so many liberals and lefties I know are in agreement with that. Go on, talk about it, Candis.
I'm in agreement with that, but I'm also in agreement of, in these next couple of days, it is our job to make sure that our people know their rights when it comes to elections. That I think it is groups like United Working Families and other groups that are coming together to monitor election integrity. But it is also important that your average everyday person in Chicago and in Georgia and in Wisconsin and in Michigan knows that if they're in line at 7 o'clock, they still get to vote. We need to make sure that we turn out everybody. Your cousin that does not vote and keeps telling you they don't have time to, yeah, you still get them a mail-in ballot. My mail-in ballot, my grandmother's mail-in ballot came in 2 days. We don't have the luxury of winning by 5 points or 10 points or even 15 points. We have to win, because unlike the Senate races, it might be one vote, it's a win. If there's one vote with Trump, he's going to go to the Supreme Court and he is going to win, period.
Yeah, if it comes down to the Supremes, he's packed it. He's got his 5 that are sitting there ready to do whatever he wants. And you're absolutely right. And that's why every vote is crucial. And for the, Candis, I tell people in Illinois, your vote's crucial in Illinois too. They go, no, Ben, it's electoral college. They figured that out. It took them a little while. I'm not allowed to shame the voters, Candis. I apologize. Anyway, voters have figured out the electoral college. I'm not going to shame the voters in Chicago. How long did it take them to realize that we have a runoff system for mayor? I'm not supposed to shame the voters. How many elections in?
Don't shame the voters. Look, educate the voters. You can't shame voters that have been purposely made to believe that voting is a privilege and not their right. So literally, Jaden, I'm in Jeanette's office. Jaden is in the office and he's doing his homework. And I had to tell him it had a passage that said voting is a privilege. I said, no, voting is a right. That passage is wrong. And if your teacher says that it's not wrong, tell her to come at me. Tell her to get with me. Because I don't want you learning that voting is a privilege. And we still have that mindset in our head, like voting is a privilege, or for black people, we should vote because our ancestors couldn't. No, we should vote because it's the bottom barrel of our civic duty. Period. What's below voting is the thing that most of us don't have a choice about, and that's paying taxes. It's the bottom barrel of our civic duty. That's why we should vote. We should vote because our voices matter, and we should be heard.
I'm with you on that one. And the reason why we should vote in Illinois, even though Illinois is viewed as a safe state for Biden, the reason we should vote is because I do believe a big margin for Biden may have some impact on the credibility of Trump when he tries to steal the election. Do you follow what I'm telling you, Candis? Like, when Hillary won by 3 million votes or whatever it was, well, Trump was like, that's not enough. To declare that it was a landslide. He declares anything, he lies anyway. But if he loses by 10 million votes, you get what I'm saying? It's a lot harder to claim a mandate. So that's why votes in Illinois matter. Your thoughts on that?
You're absolutely right. That's why votes in Illinois matter. The thing that we said we were going to come back to, because I said more black men are going to vote for Trump than what you anticipate. Mm-hmm. That's one of the things we need to come back to, because even in this Senate race, there's a lot more black men that go vote for Willie Wilson than is going to vote for Durbin, and have never seen a plan from Willie Wilson. Don't really care. The Democrats haven't worked for us. He's not a Democrat. LaGroix Blago was good to us. So therefore, we're going to go with the alternative. I don't think Willie Wilson can win. Trump will never win Illinois. However, I think it's going to be something to look at, and it's going to be something to look at in electoral cycles going forward.
Candis, you were coming very close to shaming the voter there. When I was listening to that riff, that was a good riff, by the way.
I'm not shaming the voter. My commitment is to educating the voter.
Okay. Let me just put it this way. I was listening to that argument that you were quoting back to me. I know it's not your point of view. You're quoting back an argument you heard, but I had a laugh. Like, Democrats have not been good to us. Rod Blagojevich has been good to us. Hello, clueless voter. Rod Blagojevich was a Democrat.
And Robert,
you know what I'm saying? You can't have it two ways, Candis. What's that?
Yeah, you can't have it two ways. Wait, here's the thing that makes me more angry than anything. When the Republicans haven't been good to us, obviously, Amy Coney Barrett, in her hearing, they asked her, you wouldn't see somebody calling a voter an N-word as voter intimidation, and she said that she has to see the whole thing and look at, no, that's voter intimidation. Anyway, and she's a creation of the Republicans. When we have these conversations and we talk to black and brown people, and they say the Republicans nor the Democrats have been good with us, but they don't want to look at a third-party option. When I say, well, you know, I'm 2 steps from socialism. Oh, no, we can't do that. You can't have it both ways.
Absolutely, you can't have it both ways. And what I was alluding to earlier, a voter who says the Democrats haven't been good to us, but Rod Blagojevich was a Democrat. He always ran as a Democrat. He espoused democratic values. And I don't believe he was that good to anybody, but let's say the voter really believes that. You can't turn around and say that the Democrats haven't been good to us after you declared that Rod Blagojevich was good to us. That shows you're clueless. And you say, don't shame them. Okay, I won't shame them.
Educate them. Yes,
okay.
You're right. A lot of these Democrats are clueless. A lot of the electorate is clueless. And if they had a clue, a lot of people in these seats on the state, county, federal, city level would not be there.
Yeah. See, listen.
Do you know how many people in the mayoral runoff I know that did not vote because they said, well, it doesn't matter. We'll have a black woman as mayor anyway?
Yeah. Listen, you and I have had this conversation about black men allegedly voting for Republicans. I think the election results will prove me right. I think it'll be much lower than people are predicting. I feel as though a few high-profile black men like Ice Cube and 50 Cent, people just extrapolate from them and say, oh, well, he supports Donald
Trump, and Ice Cube is a 100 millionaire, just like 50 Cent. I ain't talking about the Ice Cubes or the 50.
I think we may have lost Candis there for a while. She was on a roll too. I think we may have lost Candis Castillo. She said, was about to say, I am not talking about the Ice Cubes. And then the phone went dead, D. And I'm really dying to know.
Excellent interview strategy. Leave them wanting more.
Yeah, I feel as though we lost her in that one. But actually, my sense of where she was going is where I stand on that issue. And I can understand why Ice Cube or Willie Wilson or 50 Cent would be a Republican, a Trump supporter. Oh, wait, here she comes back.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. This is unbelievable. Yeah, Candis, you're here.
Wait.
All right, now listen, Candis.
I hear you now.
I want to go back to the point you were making. I think you were heading in a direction that I agree with, but I want to make sure because you got cut off. You were saying Ice Cube is, I think he's a billionaire, by the way. He's one of the most successful men in Hollywood. He's very wealthy, and he's trying to protect his wealth from taxation. So he has a fiduciary interest in being for Donald Trump, correct?
Wrong. Ice Cube was trying to be a lobbyist. And honestly, he was doing what anybody with what they think is a good plan would do. He brought it to both presidential campaigns. Now, I have problems with how he did it, but I don't think what he actually did was wrong. He went to the Biden campaign. The Biden campaign said, we already put out a plan, which they had, but we'll talk to you and take it up after the election. He didn't like that. He went to the Trump campaign. The Trump campaign said, talk to a low-level staffer, first of all. The staffer said, we do not have a plan. They took elements of the Contract with Black America, which is a plan that Ice Cube was pushing, and put it in their platinum plan. And then they said, the Trump campaign came out and said, Ice Cube is supporting us. And then Ice Cube came back and said, well, this is what I did, and no, I would not endorse Donald Trump or anybody else. But do I think Trump even read the Contract with Black America or what's in his platinum plan? Absolutely not. Because if he did, then Amy Coney Barrett would be problematic. And I would like to say, I personally think the plan is problematic. But he was being a lobbyist with his plan. Did he do it absolutely wrong? Sure. Did he organize anybody about the plan? No. Can most people tell you what's in the actual plan? No. It makes more sense for black people with money than it does the general public, period. But
yeah, I'm with you.
I don't think he was wrong for talking to both places.
Yeah, I don't think he was wrong to talk to both places, but he certainly gave off the impression that Trump was somehow or other more open-minded to his plan. So that set off a news cycle about, which I'm so sick of reading, and I think will be disproven on Election Day, about where the black vote is going in this election. But we'll see. You know, you and I have been arguing this point for over a year. We'll see what happens on Election Day. And I hope you're right about the Senate. I truly do. I hope the Democrats take the Senate. And I hope you're right about the presidential race in that people realize how important it is. You have this, I've been trolling you on Facebook as preparation for this show, Candis. First of all, you had some funny bits about the debate. You're like, were those things that you wrote about the last week's debate written at the very moment of the debate when it was happening?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They definitely were written at the very moment of the debate as they were happening. I think the most egregious thing in that debate, well, in both debates, is when they talked about issues and they talked about black people's issues in America, law enforcement got brought up multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
I found that to be egregious. I also find Trump's version of revisionist history and his straight up lying absolutely hilarious. Arm twisting for a jail reform? No, you didn't. The groundwork had started being set at the end of Bush's administration. It didn't start with Trump, and it's not going to end with Trump. So, I mean, I just find it funny, but the one thing that I was the most serious about is having a president say, I was wrong, or there were elements of that bill that was wrong. Talking about the 1994 crime bill, that's refreshing. That's refreshing. Because as much as I hated George Bush, he would say, I might have made a mistake there. Obama, I wasn't Obama's biggest fan, but he would have said, I might have made a mistake there. Trump, he don't care. He slipped down the ramp and then made up a lie. That was the most perfect walk I've ever taken.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I remember that, Candis. That's when he at his West Point speech. That's when he gave that speech, made all those soldiers, West Point cadets, come back to West Point to hear him speak. This man is out of his mind. That was the middle of the pandemic too, by the way.
Right.
Yeah, I remember all that.
Right, during COVID, and then he's, remdesivir is not that bad. Now everybody in his vice president's camp has COVID. Give me several breaks. Look, it's one thing to be full of yourself. It's one thing to say, I'm the president and great. It's a whole nother thing to be so arrogant you can't say, maybe that was a mistake.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now, Candis, Castillo, before I let you go, I want a prediction from you. Who will be victorious in the presidential election, Joe Biden or Donald Trump?
If we don't come out to vote like we should, it'll be Donald Trump. If we don't know our rights like we should, Donald Trump will steal it. If we keep coming out in the numbers that we are coming out, black people, brown people, the left, the working class, then we'll be fine on election night.
All right. I hope it's the latter. Candis Castillo, one way or the other, I know you'll be back on the show to talk about it. And I promise I am making my New Year's resolution early. No voter shaming. All right, Candis?
No voter shaming, Ben. None.
Okay. Okay. All right.
All
Candis
right.
Castillo, thank you very much. That's the great Candis Castillo, political strategist. No voter shaming, D. From here on out, no voter shaming. I just wrote a column about this for the reader. I'm not going to make fun of voters. Okay? Not going to call them clueless. I'm not going to bring up old elections where they did stupid things. Not going to do it, D.
I hear you, dude. I hear you, dude.
Do me.
But as your producer, let me just say, man, you've had a lot of good riffs on voter shaming. I'm just saying. That's like a good chunk of the Ben Joravsky show. You're kind of just pulling away there.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah, that resolution just went out the window. Hold on, I'm opening the window. Just throw it out.
That's my guy. That's my guy. Yes.
Voters, it's like, you want it both ways. You know what I mean? I want the tough coach that tells it like it is,
All right. I was a little worried there. I was a little worried there for a minute.
Voters. Well, I'm a voter. Oh, wait a minute. There's this thing called the Electoral College? You're kidding me. Oh, no, voter shaming again.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me understand this. You can win even when you lose? Hello? Not going to do any more of that, D. No more.
That was like an Elder Valley girl you did there. Hello.
Phyllis. Hi, I'm Phyllis. Hello.
Well,
I'm going to make some stuff up.
Speaking of Phyllis, we have a fair tax update.
Oh,
fair tax update.
It's a simple one. I found the ad with Candis Castillo. So.
Oh, yes. Good job, Producer D.
I figured, what the hell? Let's play it. Hey, guys.
Let's play it.
One of the most distinct voices we've ever had on our show. Let's see if we can hear Candis on this ad.
346,000 millionaires in Illinois.
And they pay the same tax rate as me.
And me.
And me.
Now, something isn't right about that.
Illinois is one of the only states in America where everyone pays the same tax rate, regardless of income.
But passing the fair tax will change that.
Oh, I think I found her.
Candis, CC. All right.
I think I found Dub C, Candis Castillo. Let's just make sure. Let's listen again.
Of income.
But passing the fair tax will change that.
That's her, right?
Yeah, that's C squared. Candis Castillo.
Obviously. All right, let's finish the ad out.
Fair tax will make millionaires and billionaires finally pay their fair share. And it would mean a tax cut for me.
And me.
And me.
It's time for change.
Vote yes on the fair tax.
All right. Way to go, Candis Castillo.
Yeah, right. Woo! CC. CC Rider. See what you have done.
Well, I heard they were going to approach you to be in a fair tax ad. Then they took one listen to the Ben Joravsky show and said, I don't know where the hell this guy stands on here.
No, man. They're like, don't put that hippie freak dude up there. Are you kidding me? Oh, commie guy? Come on. We can't have that. I mean, they took my advice. I told them, man, accentuate. Come on, man. By the way, hold on.
Uh-oh.
Hold on.
Uh-oh. What?
I got to address this issue. I almost forgot this. Okay? I got to address this issue.
Okay.
Joe Biden has stolen my line.
You've addressed
Joe
this
Biden has stolen my line. You know that, D. Come on. You've been listening to me for a long time. Come on, man. How long have I been saying that, huh? Like 20 years?
Yeah.
Now Joey Biden's saying it. Everybody's going, oh, Joe Biden says it. So no, I can't say it because it looks like I'm saying it because Joe Biden's saying it. You know what I'm saying, D?
Come on, man.
We've addressed Come On Man Gate quite a bit on the program.
That's easy for you to say. But anyway, the Tribunal had a headline. Come on, man. I go, oh, that clever trib. So I'm going to have to come up with a new one, D. Because now it looks like I'm stealing from Joey B. I can't have that.
How about dang, man?
Dang, man.
Boom. There we go.
I used to say dang all the time back in Nichols Junior High. Dang, man.
There you go. That's it right there.
I did not know Candis Castillo had Evanston roots. You know, I'm learning new things all the time, D. All the time. But no, going back to the fair tax, I had suggested in a reader column that they accentuate the fact that it'll be a tax cut. They're still not, like, they should have been doing that from the get-go. Monday morning quarterback. You know, shaming the voters and Monday morning quarterbacking. Ever notice that journalists, pundits, when the election's over, it's always so obvious what they should have done? Well, it's so obvious what they should have done.
Okay, that's another portion of the Ben Joravsky show. Monday morning quarterbacking, please. That's a lot of our show. That and voter shaming.
No, I'm usually wrong. I'm not that bad. I'm terrible at voter. I admit I voter shame. I admit it. I addressed this issue in the recent reader column, which hasn't dropped yet. I admit it, folks. I voter shame. Yep. But how many people cell phone shame me? You ever notice that, D?
Oh, yeah.
How did you hear me whining and crying when I get cell phone shamed by millennials? Like, oh my God, that's so funny. He doesn't know how to cut and paste. Oh, God. I think God, like, everyone knows that.
He thought Venmo was a person.
Oh my God! When I learned about Venmo, millennials are like, "You're kidding! I can't believe this." Yeah, I didn't know about Venmo. With a bunch of millennials, I didn't have the coffee. Don't give me the coffee. Why don't you just divide the coffee? Nope. So that, like, they're exact proportion the bill exactly. Yeah, I didn't know about it. I think you were there, D, when I learned about Venmo, weren't you?
No, you did a Ben Joravsky theater about it 2 days later, and I heard all about it.
And then you played several roles.
Yeah, I played like a dog or something. I don't know. We got people on the live stream chat helping you out, Ben. Beesky on the live stream chat. Beesky, always known for his live stream comment of still not voting Biden. Remember that? That's Beesky.
Beesky, all right.
I like
hanging out, holding out there.
I like Beesky. He says here, Joravsky, your new catchphrase should be, "I gotta bounce."
Yo, I gotta bounce. Kanye, I remember that. I think I did a whole thing on that. Kanye's greatest contribution to the 2019 campaign. Remember, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Kanye's like, "I'm going to endorse Mara Enya." And I think he gave her some money. And he's friends with Chance the Rapper. God, my knowledge of rap is extraordinary.
Wow.
I'm impressing even myself.
Wow.
And
Get
so
this guy
Kanye
in the Rap Hall of Fame. Holy cow.
Kanye showed up at a rally, came late. The rally was already going. Here comes Kanye. Hi. And then he at some like 5 minutes in, he turns to Chance, go, "I gotta bounce." The Tribune quoted him. Kanye turned to Chance and said, comma, quote, "I gotta bounce." I read that. I was like, oh my God, I want to say cool things like that. Well, that's why he's Kanye and I'm not.
Well, maybe write this down and try it as we sign off for today. How about that?
I gotta bounce.
Yeah. You did it. Yeah. You know, Dr. D. Take give yourself a raise. Take it out of petty cash. I gotta bounce.
I'm gonna try that. Okay, see if I can remember that.
We'll see how it goes.
Script. So hard to remember these things.
Oh, and by the way, that was a fair tax update like 5 minutes ago.
Fair tax update.
All right, we got one more story to cover here, and we will ride out. Turns out it's going to be a very crappy winter.
That is correct.
DB. How you doing? I'm DB.
The following comes from the Chicago Sun-Times. Let's see here. It comes from Fran Spielman. And, oh my goodness, my computer's going insane right now. Hey, snap out of it, computer. Fran Spielman, the Chicago Sun-Times, and Mitchell Armentrout. There we go. Governor J.B. Pritzker could announce restrictions on indoor bar and restaurant service right here in Chicago very soon as today, as coronavirus metrics took another dangerous step in the wrong direction. While the city has a rolling 7-day average testing positivity rate of 7.8%, just shy of the 8% threshold set by the governor's office that triggers the state's COVID-19 mitigations, Chicago has seen 8 consecutive days of positivity increases in a full week of rising hospital admissions. It says here in Chicago, Health Commissioner Dr. Allison Arwady is well aware an indoor dining ban is imminent given the rate of increase in cases. She urged residents to find other ways to support their favorite restaurants, which have been pummeled by the pandemic. So it looks like here we're going to see some mitigation here very shortly, Ben.
Yeah, did any quotes from Sam Toya and the Illinois Restaurant Association about this?
Let me look real quick.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? Yeah, this is a point I've been making all along. Sam Toya is a big-time political player in the city of Chicago, the head of the Illinois Restaurant Association. I think he's on the mayor's zoning board. Don't quote me on that. One of the maybe zoning board of appeals. Point is, he's got connections to Chicago Democrats like Lori Lightfoot and Rahm Emanuel. He's not going to criticize Lori Lightfoot. But he figures, I get away with criticizing JB. This is my thing, man. Like, all these, the DBs of the world and the Sammy Toyas of the world, they're all ripping Pritzker. They leave Lori alone. It's so weird. It's just the mentality of Illinois and Chicago. The mayor's all powerful. I got to get along with the mayor. I remember a long time ago, I may have told this anecdote already. I was interviewing a dude who was he ran a restaurant I think it was a restaurant, yeah. He was outspoken in support of a Green Party candidate for Congress. He wanted me, Ben, you have to write about the Green Party candidate for Congress. And I was like, okay, I'm thinking about it. What about the aldermanic race? Well, I can't take a stand against my local alderman because he controls my liquor license and my garbage collection. I'm like, oh, Mr. Profile and Courage there, huh? Yeah. Oh, I'm really tough with the congressman who's over in Washington. That's how it goes. That's how it goes in Chicago. I can't say anything bad about the mayor. Can you not say anything bad about the mayor? That's what got me in trouble, D. Saying things bad about the mayor will get you in trouble in this town every time. All right, D? But it's okay to rip a governor. Doesn't have as much control over day life. So, whatever. Listen, I'm a big supporter of restaurants. Love restaurants. All you, hey, DB, Darren Bailey, you go out to a restaurant much? Huh? I know you got a lot of money from the feds.
That is
for
correct.
The farmer stuff. Go out to a restaurant and don't be cheap. Tip the restaurant. Now, I know, DB, you're probably like a lot of millennials out there. You're like, well, I don't have to tip if I get carry out. No, that's not right, DB. Dig into that wallet, take some of that money out, and give the restaurant like an extra $10 or $20. Help them get through this. All right? I don't want to dig into my wallet. That's my DB not wanting to dig in his wallet, imitation D. Do I gotta?
Darren Bailey, if you listen to the program, we just implied you're cheap. I don't know. Maybe you're not. I don't know. Apologies if so.
Yeah, I'd like to apologize on behalf of our hippie host. You can't take him anywhere.
No downstater shaming.
Yeah, right. I wasn't even doing the downstate accent. You made me do it. All right, let's go back and play that tape. This is Dennis. Ben, you're not quite getting the downstate accent right. That's what you said. Okay. So
worst impression of me ever.
I know, it's terrible. I always turn you into a WBEZ guy. Why? I don't know. Try to help your career, all right? Got to have that. Huh. I heard it, man. Oh my God, D. I was listening to NPR this weekend. Yes, I know. I shouldn't have been listening. And they were discussing the national election. It's like, it's so interesting. It's so interesting. I was like, I can't take it. And I went back to the oldie station and heard a Turtles song from 1966 for the 400th time in my life. Anyway, that was my weekend radio listening.
All right, guys, that's the show today. Reach out to us on social media at Benny J Show, BENNY, the letter J Show, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can send us an email, bennyjshow@gmail.com. If you want to have your message read on the program, leave your name and where you're from. It's very helpful. And you can leave us a voicemail, 708-658-4788. That number again, 708-658-4788. Boy, we'd love to hear from you.
All right, I want to thank Candis Castillo. Did an outstanding job, as she always does. Of course, I want to thank the man, the myth, the legend, Pride of Joravsky, Illinois, without whom the show would be possible. As Candis Castillo, JB Pritzker, and DB Darren Bailey will tell you back home in Alton, they call him Dr. Doobie. Give yourself a raise, take it out of petty cash. I gotta bounce. See you tomorrow, everybody.
That is correct. That is correct. That is correct.
Take a chill pill, man. Take a chill pill, man.
That is correct.
I won't just turn the car around. I'm going to shut it off. I'm going to kick you out, and I'm going to make you walk home.
That is correct.